up, people? Good news. My camera doesn't look like shit. Celebration. This is like, this is milestone for me. Okay. So that's how we're starting this show.
With a
Bravo for
success.
pressing a button and all of a sudden it just like worked
Yeah.
better.
Hey, take credit for it. Act like you knew what you were doing.
I did. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
work in support, so I should know, right?
You actually went in and you rewired the webcam.
We don't want the manufacturers to know. I mean, we don't know
Oh,
which one we're
yeah.
doing. So let's take it easy there. That might get leaked.
Might get
Well,
leaked.
so today is a impromptu show. We usually record on a Friday for a Monday. We're doing this kind of midweek because we have some interesting stuff to discuss in the worlds of Microsoft, in the worlds of leaks, because they're not really leaks. But we figured we'd talk about it, get our thoughts around it, and we brought on our buddy Chad again, which I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of. We're excited to have you again, Chad. Thanks for stopping in again, brother.
Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, no, this is cool, man. So we're gonna just have a light casual conversation about what has transpired as of this morning, with a lot of documents that were discovered that were not supposed to be in the public eye. Tyler, want
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about what you've seen so far?
Yeah, man. So this whole anyone that's been following the whole Microsoft versus the FTC thing, I mean, I feel like everything else aside, Microsoft bit off way more than they could chew with trying to acquire Activision. And we've said that from the beginning. And I've stood by that. I think that's a bad call. I don't like acquisitions truly, especially when it's a company with a track record that Microsoft has of buying up these studios and then doing fuck all with it. They've absolutely broken the trust, at least with me, when it comes to releasing first party titles. And instead of taking the quality studios they already had and taking their in-house developers and saying, yes, we're going to develop good games, they're like, fuck it, we can't compete. We have all this money because we're Microsoft. Let's buy up all these studios and get them churning out stuff. And up until Starfield, every single thing they tried to put out was a flop. Hi-Fi Rush is the best thing that they had. Come on now. Like, I'm not buying a console for Hi-Fi Rush personally. Add to that Game Pass and everything coming to PC day one. I mean, why was there a need for me to buy an Xbox? There wasn't, until I got lazy and wanted to play stuff in my bed. So I bought a Series S, but it's neither here nor there.
And you went with the bare bones, which is fine. I mean, I feel like that's the one big thing they have going for them in the world of competition for next gen, is just having the ability to give you a cost-effective console with, you're not completely compromising the quality of the games. You're giving more people access to that stuff.
No,
Obviously,
credit where
they're
credit's due. The S
right.
runs games great. I mean,
Yes.
I really don't have any complaints with that system.
But that's kind of where the line is drawn at that point for the most part, right?
Right. That is like the de facto casual gaming console. Like, it is literally just something I bought to sit in my bedroom under my TV that I could pop on when it's like, all right, hey, my wife's using my computer to do school, or I'm in the room hanging out. It's late. I don't feel like going and booting up my PC. I just want to lay in bed and fuck around and play something on Game Pass. Like, it's just, that's right. What that is. So it's almost into mobile gaming territory for me. That's kind of how I feel Game Pass has pushed Microsoft. So having them buy up these huge studios, I was mad when they bought up Bethesda. I don't like the buying up of Activision, because I know their focus is pushing titles to Game Pass, pushing titles that are play anywhere, accessible anywhere, always. Like, but I would rather like games built for the PlayStation, like Spider-Man, like a God of War, like The Last of Us, games that are built entirely to be sit down, immersed at your TV with your console, play this game. So
well, I feel like the problem with that is, like, think about it. They were winning forever. They had Gears of War, they had Halo. Like, those two alone, you don't even have to say, like, besides that, what competes against those two? Personally, for me at least, I grew up with those two. Like, And then they said, hey, we're gonna switch studios. And not only are we gonna switch studios, but we're gonna half-ass everything. And I feel like
Right.
that's like the big thing they've been doing. Like if it's not broken, don't fix it, is my biggest issue I've always had with Xbox, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
They get to 3 and then they die. Whereas PlayStation adapts to everything. I mean, now PlayStation has the what's that thing called? It's like the remote, the like the PSP thing coming out now, apparently,
Yeah.
is the whole room around that. So what's Xbox gonna do that now? Like they don't have anything original, they don't have anything on their own. It's like competing against everybody else. Nintendo's the leader, if we're gonna be real about this whole thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nintendo has the lion's share of the console market, and for good reason. I mean, we've talked about it before. I have my qualms with the Switch, obviously. I mean, I don't love that the games that they make for the Switch still
Yeah.
run like shit. But
Pokemon.
yeah, oh my god, man. My daughter, Tangent, my daughter got the dual pack of Scarlet and Violet.
Okay.
She's been playing Violet. I've been playing Scarlet, so we can, trade back and forth and stuff. And
Yeah.
boy, does that game look bad on a TV.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
Woo! Man. It's bad in handheld too, but at least you can kind of pass it off. But if you try to hook it up and play on the TV, no,
No,
sir.
thanks.
I don't think I've ever done that with the Switch. Like I have one and I rarely play it, but like I bought Pikmin and I was over it from the start. I don't know what happened. But my daughter plays it also. She loves all that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, and also the Mortal Kombat that just came out with that I saw looks like you're
Oh
playing
my
on a
God.
PlayStation 3, man.
Oh
That looks
man,
horrible.
that's my new favorite
Those
reaction.
eyes.
That's my
Oh,
new favorite
yeah.
reaction meme. I use it on everything. I zoomed in real close just on
Yeah.
him staring at the thing like, woo.
Yep.
That's the new meme.
Yeah.
But so, all of that is to say this shit with the FTC was already frustrating. They were already airing way too much dirty laundry. And now
Yeah.
with this leak, which we use leak kind of incorrectly. It's not a
Yes, of
leak.
course.
Nobody
Well,
leaked.
This is why I kept doing air quotes.
Yeah.
Exposed
So
himself.
it was an accident. It looks like Microsoft was uploading.
I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly. Like
Chose the
I
wrong
attached
file.
the wrong file. Yeah. So
Yeah.
files that were supposed to be redacted and kept in-house only for the FTC, the judge, for the actual courtroom proceedings, got released to everybody. And
Yeah.
man, they just look worse and worse with each one of these things. And this is coming from somebody that I hate the console wars. I hate console fanboys. I can't fucking stand that shit on Twitter. People going back and forth. What do they call them? Sony ponies and Xbox. I'm never gonna. No adult should ever use those fucking words unironically.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
So please don't ever repeat them on this show.
I feel you.
But so
Jesus.
I hate that stuff, and I hate that this FTC thing has become such a console war talking point.
Yeah.
As somebody that loved Xbox, to your point, I grew up. The 360 was my dominant console.
Exactly.
I had a PS3, so I
Yep.
could play God of War, and I could play
Yep.
Resistance, and I could play Killzone. But my PS3 was my PlayStation exclusive system. Everything else was the 360. That was the game system.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been gaming since I was a little kid, NES, SNES. I played everything, had a
Yeah.
PS1, had a PS2, but the 360 was the console that got me.
Oh, killed everything. Killed
Oh,
everything.
yes.
And that party chat, like
Yes.
the way they did everything was perfect. Then they made everything else and it kind of just there it goes.
Yeah.
It
Xbox
became
Live
less of a priority.
was amazing.
Yep.
Xbox Live Gold, having party chats, being able to play with your friends. That was the ecosystem.
Mhm.
And then the Xbox One came out, and I bought that over, getting a PS4 initially. It was like, okay, I'm gonna do an Xbox One because this is all my friends play on Xbox already.
Yep.
I'm gonna migrate, and everybody knows what happened. Everybody knows what
Yep.
happened with the Xbox One. It was a bad console. And they could have
Yeah.
turned it around this generation. I felt like they were poised. Hey, we have Halo Infinite coming. That's going to be the big thing. We're back to Halo's roots. Back to
Yeah.
Halo's roots. Have you ever played Halo?
Yeah.
Infinite was not back to Halo's roots.
Yeah.
I mean, it was closer than
it was good. It was
4 and
great.
5. I enjoyed Infinite quite a lot. I did the all Skulls legendary run and got all the achievements and stuff. Like I had fun with it, but the multiplayer didn't hold me past one season.
Oh, 3 days for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I pushed through for
Got
the
you all
whole
beat.
first season. Yeah, you
Never
didn't play it.
Never.
Didn't you play it? You're not much of a shooter though. Not
No,
much of a
I mean,
shooter guy.
I played the older Halo games.
Well,
And
yeah, but
I
now, like
was
now you don't
yeah,
play. You
no.
don't play so much.
I bought it and I played for it was like okay, so this is the best comparison I could say for Xbox, right? Just regardless. Xbox is the iPhone. They're literally Apple. It's like we're regurgitating stuff. That's all they're doing. Like, why did Halo come out with 2 maps? It came out with like 2 maps, 4 guns, and 3 different characters. Is their whole problem? In my opinion, I feel like Xbox is just a continuous and like, yeah, they're buying other companies, and like you're saying, they're doing it all for online. Then get rid of the Xbox. Just get rid of the Xbox. Just start selling cheap PCs to everybody. Just make it a universal thing.
Yeah.
They've been focusing so much with Game Pass on PC too.
And people use it. Like I actually just the other day, I didn't even know. Like I've played it a couple times, but my buddy was like, "Hey, I don't know that dinosaur. There's some new dinosaur game where like you're in a mech or something." And
Exoprimal.
yeah, that thing.
We know all about that game.
Oh, I looked that up, and then I saw like the old Gears of War. I saw Halo, and I'm like, why would you buy an Xbox? Why don't you just go buy a PlayStation 5 controller, hook it up to your computer, play with that controller, and play your Xbox? You don't even need the Xbox because
Yep.
first of all, the Xbox controller is janky. It's big. Why do you need something that's bigger than your hand? Like, in all honesty,
It's very clicky.
Yeah.
Very clicky.
yeah.
is.
I bought the Pro or whatever, that controller, whatever that was called back in the day, and I hated that thing. It was just so big.
With the magnetic
Yes.
sticks and stuff.
It came with the
The Elite
Gears of War one.
controller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Gears of War one.
Yep. But
It's a weird situation. I mean, for me, I'm not, and I haven't been a Microsoft guy. I
Okay.
mean, I've had them since I would say mid generation for Xbox original.
Okay.
I definitely played 360 a lot, so I can see that comparison. I think the big challenge there was, for comparison's sake, the whole thing with PlayStation 3's architecture and how the games were designed and how the install process, how that all changed. It
Yep.
made everything
well,
very
and it
cumbersome.
was so goddamn expensive at launch.
Well,
If you guys
that too.
remember the PS3's
$700,
launch,
$800.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did the PlayStation 3, did you have to? I can't remember. I had it, but I mean, obviously, that's what, 8 years ago, whatever that was.
Way longer.
Oh yeah,
Did
way
you
longer.
have to download that before you could play the game? Because I
Yeah,
remember the Xbox
that's
did
where
that.
that's where it was like very weird of like download, then you had to install it after you downloaded.
Yeah.
So it
Because
was like a double process.
do you remember when that whole thing was going on and they were showing at E3? It was like the PlayStation and the Xbox, and I can't remember who came out, and they were like, in order to play the Xbox, you have to download it before, and you can't share your games anymore, and it's going to cost you money if you want to share or whatever the deal is. And then they backtracked that same day because they got blasted.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Well, I think that's what's going to happen here. There's going to be a lot of repercussions in the sense of, you're going to get the fandom that's going to strike, and they're going to assume that
Yeah.
whatever's in this paper is concrete.
Yeah.
Really not the case. This is stuff that is in the works that can change any day. And I think the biggest chaotic aspect of everything that's happened was the emails.
Yes. So we'll touch on the console, we'll touch on the controller, but then we'll dive into the emails. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
the Brooklyn Xbox Series X mid-generation refresh, which is basically a Series X that's all digital. So it's a Series S with the power of the X, and it looks cool. I do like the tube, the canister.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't dislike that. It looks nice.
Looks like a
Um,
little shower speaker.
yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. But the fact that they're in the email, again, this is all just almost conjecture at this point, but charging the same $500 for the discless Series X as the disc version, you should at least have a discount. I mean, even the PlayStation 5 digital is a little bit cheaper than the one with the disc. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna take away a feature, you should take away some of the cost, even $50. Even pricing it down to $449 would be like, okay, that makes sense. $50 to get rid of the disc drive, I got you.
Yeah.
But pricing it at the same point, but The new controller. So this is another one of those big talking points that you see people, screaming about on Twitter. Folks on the Xbox side talking all kinds of shit about the DualSense controller. Like, oh, you don't need all that. Oh, why do we need haptics? I don't care about any of that shit. But this controller is just a copy.
This controller is ugly as fuck.
Well, one, yeah, it looks terrible. But two, if you take the Xbox brand away and like the controller pads off the face, it looks like a dual-sided dildo or something.
Or
yeah,
a
there's the
Steam
console.
controller. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. So the console,
Okay.
the controller, but look at the immersion, the feel of the game, the haptic feedback, the speakers, all. And I love how they emphasize quieter buttons and thumbsticks because, to Benny's point, their controller is insanely loud and
Oh
clicky.
yeah. Yeah. It's like,
But you
yeah.
got to remember, it's now adorably all digital.
Adorably all digital. Yeah, adorable.
It looks like they're
Um,
honestly just charging the Elite because it has the thumb pad. I mean, it's like it honestly looks like they're like, okay, we didn't sell enough Elite controllers. Let's just diet down a little bit and make literally this is the base controller and go, okay. I mean, first of all, the 2-color thing looks horrible.
Yeah,
Like,
don't love that.
Yeah, like I said, the PlayStation, obviously I don't care for which console you're going either way. I'm gonna buy whatever has my game on it. I don't care what the console is, but like that just don't look good. Like it honestly looks terrible. Maybe it's the
Yeah.
design. Why did Xbox go away from the green? Like, why have we veered away from green too? Like, I'm just saying it sticks out more. This looks like take away that logo. It's a PlayStation controller.
Well, I
a little
think
bulkier.
they're adapting to what people like at this point. They're
Yeah, but
trying
don't-
to
That's
innovate.
sleek.
don't-
That's
But don't
sleek.
follow.
Yeah,
like-
exactly. That's the thing, though.
Yeah,
So
Imitation is the what is it?
and it's an imitation of the features in the DualSense controller that everybody was so loud about. We don't care about. Nobody needs that. Like, no, really, it makes a difference. It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
And they still, with this, it still does not have internal batteries. Why do we
Yes.
still need batteries or battery packs? The PlayStation controllers have had integrated batteries since the PS3. How have we not gotten there yet?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
this
the
just-
PS2, the PS2 eventually ended up having options, even from
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah.
I
Oh, they
remember
were
that.
expensive though, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, the
but that
dual
was,
the
it
dual
was cost
shocks were
prohibitive.
expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I personally, I know this might sound like a very controversial thing, but I like the batteries. I don't know. Maybe because say obviously you have the cord, right? You bend the cord, you got to go buy a new cord, right? But you run out of batteries, you just switch batteries. I don't know. That's just always been my thing, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's been a really big downgrade since then. I like to be able to.
I
pop
was
them
good.
open.
I was good with batteries for a while. I eventually, I'd say within the last maybe year or two, I migrated my Xbox controllers to get the built-in rechargeable batteries, so that I could just throw it on a dock.
I didn't think about that
I
because
love the
I sound
docks,
kind of like
man.
a hypocrite because I got a wired mouse and keyboard, so I do everything wired in them, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all.
I mean, look, I'm gonna give you an example of like
Yeah.
an old controller.
Okay.
This is called the SteelSeries Nimbus. This is from like I
Oh,
want to say maybe
geez.
2015, 2016,
Yeah.
and it was wireless with
Okay.
with USB-C.
Yeah.
And Microsoft is still, I mean, I get it. It makes it a little more cost friendly, but I think that when it comes to like evolving the tech at this point,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna break at this point. I think they really need to focus on software, because I'm always gonna say no matter what console generation we're in,
Going where the
your
games
software
are, buddy.
is going to make or break your console. Think about the Wii, think about the Wii U, the short lifespan because the
Yeah.
software support. Microsoft has a plethora of assets. It's
Yeah.
what they're doing with it. The Game Pass was a selling point for me for a while, but then I've learned how little I use it. Like
Yeah.
I literally turned it on for Lies of P, which we're going to do a show about at the end of the week. But seriously, I put that on. I was excited. Like, I don't know if it's just coincidentally my version of the game. The audio was like super, super delayed. I've
Yeah.
rebooted the console multiple times. I'm like, the rare time I turn this Xbox on and I'm already turned off. And it's like, yeah, I could have went and bought the game and I went on to get the Game Pass route, but it's like it doesn't help the cause at this point because the Game Pass hasn't drawn me in to
Yeah.
any of the games that I was originally really excited for.
Yeah.
Like, there was a couple of games that came out and I was like, yes, I don't have to buy it. Awesome. Get it. Don't have the urgency to play it because
Yeah.
it's like free. Okay. I don't care.
That's the thing with me too. Like I've always noticed, I don't know if you guys kind of feel the same way. If you notice that like with the Game Pass, life is getting easier. And when I say that, I don't mean like working wise, I mean
Clearly
video
not.
games. So they give you a Game Pass, right? And you're paying monthly subscriptions, right? But they know you're doing that, so they throw everything on there. But realistically, you're like, okay, well, that's too easy. I don't have to. I have it. I can play it whenever I want. Versus when you went out back in the day, if you remember this, if you remember going to GameStop midnight, you get your game and you grind that game, right? Now,
Yep.
with everything being digital, you're like, oh, I'll just play it tomorrow.
Casual.
Yep.
Versus there's no excitement. And hey, getting older doesn't mean anything because I'm 32 and I don't care. Like I was so excited to play Mortal Kombat. Games are just coming out and they're half-ass and they're a third of the way complete and everything is sold DLC, and that's probably why you're not interested too. Like you're getting a game that's like a prototype, like a base model. Nothing's fun anymore. There's Xbox literally is a trash can. If we're being honest, it's a trash.
It was a fridge at one point too.
I
Yeah,
almost
it is a
bought
fridge.
that.
You can
too.
still buy them. You can still find the
Oh,
mini fridge
I
in
had it.
Walmart.
Oh, I
Had
don't
it.
doubt it. They
Sold it.
don't. It's crazy when you're one of the biggest. Well, you were one of the biggest companies, right? I would argue still big company, but
Well,
you're
there's
Apple.
really only the three.
Yeah.
You got Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft is not
Well,
in the top two.
Microsoft is renowned in the world of computers because they're pretty much
Yeah,
responsible for
They're the
half
answer.
of the
Yeah, you have
population's
to have
operating
Windows.
systems.
Way more
Yeah.
than half, man. Anybody that
Um,
games, though.
I'm
I mean,
being
there's
fair.
like fucking 3 people that game on Linux. Everybody else games on Windows. And even that, they try to shoot themselves in the foot every couple years. Windows 11 is a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
don't
was
worry.
absolutely
You're not going to get Windows 12. You're going to get Windows
Abysmal
1.
for gaming. Yeah.
You're getting like Mortal Kombat. You're getting Windows 1.
for
Yeah.
real. Resets
I have
on
not
everything.
upgraded to 11. I'm still rocking Windows 10 because it's
Ma-
so bad.
I forgot to
11
turn off
broke
the
my
update.
PC. I forgot too. I re-imaged my computer because my computer's old.
Yeah,
And I did it, and it just made the computer
unworkable. Yep.
Mhm.
So I got a
Trash
quick
can.
question about this Xbox because I'm looking at it right now, right? This Elwood Xbox Series S refresh, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the S was already discless, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The white one, because I believe I bought my daughter one so she could play at her house with her mom. And yeah, it's the white one. But same price. So $299, 1 terabyte, which is more storage. And I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything special to this thing. There's nothing. Like, congratulations, it's a recycled box. That's all it says. And then they're gonna want to push this. I think the problem is they don't have ideas right now. Like, you need to bring in new people. You need to have a plan. You need to set up things. Think about it this way. Every company that's big right now, right? When's the last time you've seen something new out of any company that's big? Like,
Well, to them it's new.
but it's not new to the people. And I think people are starting to understand, hey, we're not dumb. Like before,
Yeah.
it was like, iPhone 10, 11, 12. It's the same thing. It's the same phone. People want to say, okay, but it has a better camera. It's the same phone.
Hey, I got something new. I got the nice
Oh.
boom.
Oh,
The
with the double
foldy phone.
with the screen.
That's new.
But
You
you're
know?
showing us the
That was a
back of
nice-
it, which is not a selling point.
It's
Well,
huge
I
mean,
now.
Yeah.
That's why I don't upgrade. That's why, like, I still have. I think this is 13. Like, I don't upgrade. Like
Yeah,
this
I'm on
thing.
a 13 too. Yep.
Yeah, like this thing right here. Like, okay, cool. It still looks like a speaker. What do I need this for? Especially if it's for my kid. Like,
Yeah.
like we'll sit down. What can she even play like right now that she can't play better on Switch? Like, you got Pikmin, Super Smash Brothers, old game, still holds up way better. And Nintendo's pushing movies. Nintendo's doing this. Where's Xbox?
Yeah.
They're
Well,
fighting
they
themselves.
made a lovely Halo show that did not do well.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah, I
God,
know.
it
With their
was so
season 2
bad.
coming out.
And we
Yeah,
got to see
nope.
Master Chief's ass. Why?
Yeah, man.
or
Bad
he
enough we had to
die.
see his face,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he dies at the end or whatever.
and he
I watched
talks.
part of it and I
I'm
was like, oh,
he talks a lot in that show. I watched like 2 episodes. I'm like, nope, can't do
Yeah,
this.
he should have kept the mask on like goddamn Mandalorian and had the original voice. Like that would have been so easy. Would have been so easy to do.
but instead
And
they're
it
like,
just
oh
like
no,
that's just
different
the most
universe.
insane fumble. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
It is
I don't
what it is.
Free money. You could have just printed the money. You could have done almost the same show. Almost. Kept
Well,
Chief
think
in his
about
goddamn
anybody.
suit.
Yeah.
I'll defend Microsoft here and the fact that they're not the only ones that struggle with that. Obviously,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have people taking assets and revitalizing them to live action is like such a difficult task. I feel like Last of Us is the closest that we've gotten to like.
Oh, and I
true-
had my bones to pick with that too. I mean, it was a pretty good show.
same here.
It
but
was-
yes.
It was good.
Everyone acting like it
it has
was-
faults. No. Like, watch. I bet you God of War absolutely is a steaming piece of shit. I'm just gonna
Probably.
say it because first of all, isn't it Momoa?
unless they get Chris Judge to
yeah,
come do it. That's still up in the air.
because
that
I'm
he
just
may
like
do
I'm
that.
so over.
I don't know if they'll do that.
They keep using the same 12 actors in anything.
We don't need Aquaman anymore.
That
We already have his-
exactly, and he's doing Minecraft coming out or something too.
Oh,
like
Jesus
that's
Christ.
where that's where I think Five Nights at Freddy is gonna win because it's like it's think about it. It's a third party that got huge, and people are like, oh my god, this is great. You know, like everybody wanted this. This is like one of the biggest talk. When you have a YouTuber who's making millions of dollars per year playing this little video game that was nothing, and now take it, use those people in the movies, use those people to advertise stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Which,
not-
funny enough, I know that's a side tangent, but you all know we love our FNAF and we talk a lot about it. We've had awesome guests related to it. And I think that that franchise is on point with a lot of that aspect. Scott works with a lot of the creators.
Oh yeah.
So that's a big part of that's where there's a connection,
yeah.
content creators like Daco, like those, they work hand in hand with the creator. Blumhouse is working hand in hand with Scott. And then you have the game developers like Steelwool working hand in hand with him as well. So
Yeah.
take note, Microsoft, take note, everybody else, like deep diving into those connective tissues that really bring the franchises to another level. But
Yeah.
at this point, I digress. And I think that realistically, the damage is done at this point. We see what has been presented. We could hope that they kind of change gears and get back into a mode that they need to, because
Yeah.
Nintendo's coming out with a console. Leaks have already talked about that being a more powerful hardware.
Yeah.
Tyler and I have had on several shows. It's going to have Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to be a launch title, guarantee it.
Hey,
But people are going to buy it. That's the difference here.
well, Nintendo,
People
they're
are loyal to the brand.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And
And
that
so
Mario
that's a-
movie elevated that.
That's a nice segue to we'll wrap things up here, but that was the closing note I wanted to touch on. We talked about before we started recording is them, Microsoft and Phil, thinking he's gonna buy Nintendo. Like,
Oh, good
come,
luck.
come on, man. There's absolutely no way.
You sure
And,
about that?
yeah,
You
like,
sure about that?
all the memes of everyone of Nintendo laughing Microsoft out of the room. Like, y'all are not poised for that. Like, you can't buy Nintendo. You're not gonna. No, it's not gonna happen. And
Well,
it's
then
just
they
and
I
it
think
just
they
goes
segued to
further
Sega as a
shows
secondary.
that it shows that mindset though. The mindset of we're not gonna focus on our own brand and make it better. We're not gonna bring ourselves back to the peak. We're just gonna buy up the other people.
Yeah.
And, like,
and
that's
just make
so
it crap.
awful, man.
Disney? Huh?
Yeah. And
Might as
they
well.
Sorry.
they announced they showed that the next Elder Scrolls is going to be Xbox exclusive. Like, we knew that was happening. We knew
2028.
oh yeah, it's 2072. I'm gonna be in a fucking walker shitting in a bag by the time the next Elder Scrolls comes out. But
Oh,
You know-
the NPC's gonna attack me. I just went to the store.
yeah, man. But it's frustrating, man. It's really frustrating. I'm good. I don't love exclusives. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish Final Fantasy 16 had been available on Xbox. I wish it had been available to everybody because that's one of my favorite games this year. I really put my money where my mouth is when it comes to that. I don't just hate exclusives when Xbox does it, but
Yeah.
I understand the industry need. I understand the business behind exclusives.
Okay.
I wish companies on both sides would stop buying exclusivity from third-party developers and Microsoft specifically buying companies to force exclusivity. I get Sony Studios making their own games. I get God of War. I get Last of Us. I get Uncharted. And the flip side, Microsoft. I get Halo. I get Gears of War. I understand having console-specific titles for things that have always been there.
Yeah.
But this
that are
buying
already
up,
in-house.
yes, but buying up studios, buying up franchises that have been available to everyone across the board for a decade or more just feels so scummy to me. I really don't like it. I really don't. And like I said, I stand by that. I don't like that Square seems to be kind of in the Sony house and putting out games exclusively on PlayStation. I think
Kingdom Hearts.
yeah.
For
I
a
think
while,
it's not anymore, but yeah, I think very specifically Final Fantasy 16, which the rumor is that it's coming to Xbox. It was a timed exclusive. I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but
Yeah, I don't think so either. But you're right.
we know it's coming to PC, but stuff like that, it rubs me the wrong way. I wish it was available to everyone. So, and I put that on both sides of the house. So looking at a future where any new Fallout title is going to be Xbox exclusive. Any new Elder Scrolls is Xbox exclusive. Doom is Xbox exclusive. New Dishonored is Xbox exclusive. Yeah, it's not my thing. And with them buying up Activision, they can say all day and night, no,
They're not
Call of
gonna
Duty
do
will
that.
still go everywhere. But
Well, see, you
We'll
got to be
see.
fair there. You got to be fair there though, because if you remember, they had Call of Duty originally. That was the thing in the beginning. After Modern Warfare 2, it was Xbox, if you remember, and then they lost it.
yeah,
Now they're just using money, but before they're just ass. Let's be real now. They're ass, and they have to buy it back. They didn't get it.
Yeah.
They didn't earn it like PlayStation did. It's the problem.
Yeah,
yeah.
agreed.
But all right. Well, I've been interrupted by a child again.
Oh,
Go
good.
out, buddy. We'll be done in a second. I'll be done in a second. All right. That's a good place to call it. I feel like
Yep.
we've talked the leagues to death. We'll get this out there. Chad, it's been great talking to you for real. Thanks so
Yeah,
much
appreciate it,
for
man.
coming back on. Like Benny said at the beginning of the show, I think this will be a regular occurrence. So
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
all right.
appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for listening to us rant as always. We hope you have a great night. Take care and have fun.
Have a great one.
See you guys.